Hi, good morning children. For 8th standard children, I am going to start a new lesson from chemistry, that is materials, metals and non-metals. This also children, as you have learnt this in your lower section. Metals and non-metals. Children, firstly we shall focus on metals. Metals, physical properties. Metals we are going to learn about physical properties of metals children. Physical properties means looking at something and concluding. Just now I am looking at something and saying that whether it is an metal or non-metal. By saying that we can conclude that. So these are called as physical properties children. First point in metals is all metals are solid at room temperature. First point, all metals are solid at room temperature. Got it children? Means except mercury. Except mercury, all metals are solid. Mercury is the only metal which is in liquid state. Got it children? All metals, first point is all metals are solid at room temperature except mercury. Mercury is the only metal which is liquid state at room temperature. Got it children? That is the first physical properties of metals. Second property children, all metals have high density. All metals have high density. High density except sodium, except sodium, potassium, except sodium, potassium. Only these two metals have low density. Then how to check this density children? As we have seen, high density means if you take a piece of iron, and if you put it in a beaker containing water, it drowns, isn't it children? It sinks to the bottom. So it has density, high density. All metals have high density except sodium and potassium. How can you say that these two metals are not having? Means they float on a beaker containing water. Got it children? First point is all metals are in solid state at room temperature. Only except mercury is in liquid state at room temperature. Got it children? Second point is all metals have high density except sodium and potassium. Only sodium and potassium has low density. How can we check? Means we can take a beaker containing water and we can take a piece of iron, maybe a nail which will put for a wall to hang something. That nail, and when you drop into the water, it drowns, isn't it children? We can see it will be floating on the water, the iron nail. No, it drowns into the water. By this we can say metals, all metals have high density. And except which two metals? Sodium and potassium have very low density. Third point is all metals except sodium and potassium are hard. Third point is all metals are hard. All metals are hard except sodium, potassium and lead. Got it, children? All are hard. Hard means we cannot break them easily. All metals, if you take iron, if you take copper, these are all metals, isn't it, children? These metals we can break with our hand? No, they are very hard. But whereas sodium, potassium and lead, they can be easily broken. These three are, except these three, all the metals are hard, children. That is the third point. Third physical properties of metals. Now we'll go for fourth property. Metals can be hammered. All metals can be hammered and drawn into sheets. This property we call it as malleability. Malleability, children. How? If you take iron, when you beat it, hammer means beating it hardly. When you beat, and it can be made into a thin sheet or foils also, children, not only drawn into sheets. How can you make this iron table or chair, iron chair? These are the metals. When they are hammered, they can be made into sheets. That property we call it as malleability. Got it, children? Malleability is hammering the metal and drawing it into sheets without breaking it. Is called as without breaking it. That process we call it as malleability, children. Next, children, next property, that is fourth property. Metals can be melted and drawn. Metals can be melted, means they can be heated and melted can be drawn into wires. Children. This property we call it as ductility. Metals can be melted and drawn into wires. This property or this process we call it as ductility, children. Okay, this is the fourth point, that is ductility. Next, fifth point is the children, all metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Means metals will allow heat to pass through them and even electricity to pass through them, which supports heat and electricity. That is the fourth point, children. Fifth point is metals conductors of heat and electricity. Heat and electricity is the fifth point. Now another one point, children. All metals are lustrous. Lustrous means shining. Lustrous means shining. All metals will shine, like gold, silver, copper. They shine, children. So they are lustrous. Metals are lustrous. One more property of metals is they are sonorous. Sonorous means, children, when you try to hit a metal, it gives a ringing sound. It gives a sound. Suppose if you take a coin, 1 rupee coin or 2 rupees coin or 5 rupees coin, children, when you draw from certain height, You hear the sound of that coin, that is nothing but ringing sound called as sonorous. Metals have this property. Our school bell, ringing of our school bell, iron metal is used. We hear the bell sound, no children? That is sonorous. These are all the properties of metals, children. I once again try to say what we have learned. First point is metals are solid at room temperature except mercury. Got it, children? That is first point. Second point is metals have high density except sodium and potassium. Metals have high density except sodium and potassium. That is the second point. Third point, metals are hard except sodium, potassium and lead. That is the third point. Metals are hard except sodium, potassium and lead, children. Now fourth point is metals can be hammered and drawn into sheets. That property we call it as malleability. That is the fourth point, children. Or not only made into sheets, even it can be made into foils, children. Okay, that is the fourth point. Now fifth point is metals can be melted, means they can be heated up to a certain temperature and made into wires, children. I think electric wiring in your houses. Inside that plastic or this one wire, if you see, metals are used. Metal wire will be there. So melting it and drawing it into wire is that process we call it as ductility. So metals have this property also. Now that was the fifth point, children. Now sixth point is metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. They allow heat to pass through them. For this example I can give is, if your mother wants to prepare food, on which type of vessel she uses? All metals, isn't it, children? Metalware only she uses. That is, metals are good conductors of heat, and even to supply electricity also, metals are good conductors of, they support to conduct electricity. So they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Next point is, children, they are lustrous. Lustrous means shining. Metals will give shining surface. For example, for this is gold, silver, copper, they shine. So this property we call it as lustrous. Metals have ringing sound. That property we call it as sonorous, which gives ringing sound, children. For this example is, when you drop a coin from certain height, we hear the ringing sound, or else our school bell. When it is time, when we ring it, you can hear the ringing sound, that is sonorous, children. These are all the properties, physical properties of metals, children. Now we shall focus on chemical properties of metals. Physical properties which we see something and say and conclude that it is a metal. These are all by looking at them we can say, children. Which we see is called as physical properties which reacts. Then we say they are the chemical properties. Now we have learnt about physical properties, children. Now we are moving forward to learn chemical properties of metals. What are these chemical properties? How do metals react? Metals, first point is, metals react with oxygen to form oxides, children. First point is, metal oxide. To form oxides means when a metal is forming an oxide, obviously we will say it is an metal oxide. Okay, got it, children? For this example is iron. Iron reacts with oxygen to form iron oxide, means ferrous oxide or ferric oxide. I think this better one more example I can give is in rainy season, or you take a iron nail, put it outside for 2 to 3 days. It reacts with oxygen and forms a rust. Iron rust is nothing but the metal oxide, children, is an example for metal oxide. Metals react with oxygen to form metal oxides, that is iron Fe plus O2 gives rise to ferric oxide or ferrous oxide. Oxygen. Got it, children? This is example for metal reacts with oxygen to form metal oxides. Second point, children. Metals react with acids to form salts. This also is the known point for us, children. How? Metals react with acids to form salts. In 6th and even in 7th standard also, children, you learnt sodium plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to a salt known as sodium chloride, a common salt which we use in our daily life to prepare our food. Isn't it, children? That is the example, one of the example to show that metals react with acids to form salts. Common salt NaCl is an salt, children. What is a metal? Sodium is a metal. Hydrochloric is a acid. Hydrochloric acid is the acid, and it reacts and forms common salt, that is NaCl. Sodium chloride. That is the second point, children. Now third point, metal reacts with water. Metals reacts with water to form oxides or hydroxides. Children. This is the third point. And fourth point is metals do not react with alkalis. Metals do not react with alkalis. Children, what do you mean by alkalis? Alkalis, children. Alkalis means or the bases. I think in 7th standard you learned, children. We learned this acids, bases and salts in 7th standard. Acids which turn blue litmus to red, and even bases or the bases which readily react with water or readily dissolve in water are called as alkalis, children. They will not react. Which metals? Children, we have learnt in our 7th standard class about acids, bases and salts. In that, bases that readily dissolve in water are called as alkalis. But here, metals have that property. Metals do not react with these alkalis. Got it, children? These are the 4 points, chemical properties of the metals, children. First one, metals react with oxygen to form metal oxides. For this example is iron plus oxygen gives rise to, means ferrum, iron's scientific name, plus oxygen gives rise to ferric oxide. Metal oxide it is. Second point is metals react with acids to form salts. For this example is, children, sodium plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to sodium chloride, which is a common salt. Now third point, children, metal reacts with water to form oxides or hydroxides, children. Next, fourth point children, metals do not react with alkalis. Alkalis are the bases which readily dissolve in water children. So metals do not react with them. These are all the chemical properties of the metals children. Now let us focus on children. Let us focus on non-metals. Physical properties of non-metals. Higher section. In the periodic table, we can see certain arrangement of some elements in the periodic table. Like scientists have bifurcated these materials into metals and non-metals. There will be some alphabets written one side and the other side. Got it children? Now let us see about, we focus on non-metals. Non-metals physical properties. Means which are not metals children. Non-metals physical properties. Let us focus on these children. Non-metals can be in the form of solid, liquid or in gaseous state at room temperature. At room temperature, maybe like plastic. No specific state for them. We know that there are 3 states of matter: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. But in metals, we have seen that all metals are solid at room temperature, isn't it? But whereas these non-metals, they have no specific state. They can be solids, they can be liquids and maybe in gaseous state at room temperature. That is the first point children. No specific state for them. Second one, solids of non-metal. The non-metals which are in solid state are brittle in nature. Brittle means which can be broken. Suppose I told in metals are hard, we cannot break them. Isn't it children? Now non-metal, suppose you think plastic. If you take and we can break it easily. So breaking up means they will break up. So that type of nature we call it as brittle in nature, which can be breakable are called as brittle in nature. That is the second point children in non-metals. Brittle in nature. First point shortly I will write. No specific state. That is understood first point. No specific state means they can be in solid state, can be non-metals, can be in specific state, they can be in solid state, liquid state and even gaseous state at room temperature. At room temperature is the first point children. Second point is they are brittle in nature. Brittle means can be broken easily. Third point is non-metals cannot be melted and drawn into wire. Non-metals cannot be melted, cannot be melted or drawn into wires. Whereas metals can be drawn into wires. Children, did you hear sulfur? Sulfur is a non-metal. Can you make that sulfur, melt it and make it into a sulfur wire? No. So this is an example that non-metals cannot be melted or drawn into wires. That is third point children. Now fourth point is Metals do not have characteristic sound. When hit with objects, they won't give any characteristic sounds. Like metals will give ringing sound, I told. Characteristic sounds will not be given when they are beaten with the objects. Suppose two non-metals are beaten, but we can't hear any sound. Got it, children? For example, carbon, children. Carbon, when you hit the carbon, we won't get any kind of sound. That is the example of carbon is given for characteristic sound, children. That is the fourth point which we come across in non-metals. Now fifth point, children, except graphite, all non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Only graphite, which is non-metal, but graphite is the allotropy form of carbon. It is the good conductor of heat and electricity. Except that graphite, all other non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity, children. That is our fifth point, children. Now sixth point, except diamond, all non-metals are not having lustrous property. As I earlier told you that metals are lustrous, means they have shining surface, but except diamond is also a allotropy form of carbon. So except diamond, all the non-metals do not have lustrous property. Non-metals have low density. When you put, I think, for checking the density, children, I told you, taking a beaker, we should put that non-metal. They float on water. They won't drown into the water. That is also a physical property of non-metal, children. Got it, children? Now let us move forward for Now we have seen the physical properties of non-metals. They won't have specific state. Means they may be in solid form, liquid form, or at gaseous form at room temperature is the first point. Second point is they are brittle in nature. They can be broken. Solid non-metals. Specific is there. Solid non-metals only. Solid non-metals, they are brittle in nature. Third point, non-metals cannot be melted or drawn into the wires. Fourth point, they won't give any characteristic sounds. Fifth point, except graphite, all are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Sixth point, except diamond, they do not have, all non-metals do not have that lustrous property. Last one, non-metals have low density. These are all the physical properties of non-metals, children. Now only one point we have in chemical properties of non-metals, children. Now let us see the chemical properties of non-metals. Only one property we have, children, in chemical properties. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides. Non-metal means, children, carbon reacts with oxygen, gives rise to carbon dioxide. Sulfur reacts with oxygen, gives rise to sulfur dioxide. These two are the examples of chemical properties of non-metals, children. I'll continue the further class in the next sessions, children. Thank you, children.